What is up, guys? So I wanted to do a video today talking about a game that I feel like everyone, including myself, we've all slept on. No one has really been anticipating this game. No one's really spoken about it much. Whenever people think of up and coming games coming out this year, this never gets mentioned. And the reason that a lot of people are talking about it now is that there was a new trailer released literally a couple of days ago, and that game is Middle-earth: Shadow of Mordor. Obviously, judging by the title, you can tell it's a game based on the Lord of the Rings universe. I did read it's set between the events of The Hobbit and the Lord of the Rings, so whether we'll get any kind of characters showing up in the game or any kind of plot points that will relate back to Lord of the Rings or anything like that, who knows, but it's looking great. I think the reason why I didn't really take any notice of this, I did know it existed, I knew of the name, I knew it kind of was a game coming out, but to be honest, I thought it was one of those PC RPG Lord of the Rings games that's been coming out for years and years. I didn't really think this was any different. I didn't know it was an action game, like a multi-platform console game. Coming on to that, it is coming to everything: PS4, Xbox One, previous generations, so PS3, Xbox 360, and PC as well. No Wii U on there. So forgive me if I look down, because I've got a few little notes about the game on here that I wanted to talk about. I think it's looking great. I've seen some gameplay of it already. It really reminds me of sort of God of War, a little bit Prince of Persia, a little bit Assassin's Creed, kind of all mixed together. So you've got the combat of God of War and a little bit of Batman as well. I have seen the fact that the camera pans out, you're surrounded by enemies and you get little flashes and things to kind of link up combos, a little bit like the Batman fighting system. So it looks very similar in that sense. But one thing I have only just found out as well, which is really good, is that it's open world, an open world Middle-earth where you can go and do side missions, you can customise your own character. Weirdly as well, something I've never really seen before, you can customise enemies, and enemies are a big feature in this game. Where is it? I've just read here. Enemies will also develop as Talion, the main character's name, interact with them. For example, an Uruk-hai who survived a previous encounter with Talion can be encountered later on working as a slaver, which is really cool, I thought. So enemies who you don't choose to kill will show up again in the game, and that was a pretty cool feature, I thought. They're not just going to disappear and be forgotten about forever. That's something I haven't really seen much in a game before, which is good. I'm liking the sound of that. Like I said, the game is an open world video game, and players will have the freedom to pursue side quests and roam around the world. When I first watched the trailers, I thought it was just kind of like God of War style, where you get levels and you just work your way through the level. I didn't know it was open world, so that's going to be cool, because obviously Middle-earth and the whole Lord of the Rings universe is such a good, like, gorgeous open world setting, that it will be great if we get a little taster of that by playing this game. It comes out in October, so obviously around the sort of time that Batman Arkham Knight comes out as well. And there will be other games out by then as well, possibly more on Uncharted. We'll know a lot more at E3. And the plot as well, just to go by the plot, it says the game takes place between the events of The Hobbit and Lord of the Rings, like I said. The family of Ranger Talion is killed by Sauron's armies, and he himself is also killed, but soon revived with wrath-like abilities, and heads to Mordor to exact his revenge. Mordor is not yet a barren wasteland in the story. So obviously, yeah, set before Lord of the Rings, so it's going to be a different Mordor than what we're expecting. Story involves the Rings of Power, but the story is separate to the Lord of the Rings canon. However, Warner Brothers maintains that the stories will align. The player will encounter Gollum, that's awesome, in the game, discovering that Talion and Gollum have a lot in common. That's going to be great to see. Obviously, Gollum, one of the most popular characters out of the whole Lord of the Rings franchise. So to see him pop up in the game is going to be great. Maybe he becomes your, like, sort of little side man, your Tails to your Sonic, that type of thing, your Luigi to Mario. He might be your little side guy. But I'm really excited for this game. There's been a lot of trailers and gameplay released very recently, and I think that's what has been opening people's eyes about the game. Personally, like I said, I didn't think it was any more than like a PC RPG Lord of the Rings game until I looked into it. So I'm personally looking forward to it. It's now on my radar, it's now on my list of games that I will be picking up this year. I'm a big Lord of the Rings fan. I love games like Assassin's Creed, God of War, Prince of Persia. I love games like that. So this is looking perfect for me. And yeah, I'm really excited to see more in the game. Tell me what you guys think. Tell me what you thought of the trailers and the gameplay, and whether you knew about it before. So yeah, that's about it for this video, guys. Thank you for watching. Leave your comments down below as usual, and I will see you on my next video.